What's poppin'? Peace increase. Today we are going to be taking a look at the deadly influence of rap music. If you enjoyed the video, like, sub, go sub to Thundy. And let's boogie.
You don't actually smoke.
Right.
Do you always lie in your songs?
Well, I was high all the time, but everybody else was smoking around me.
Is it true that you once asked Snoop Dogg to stop smoking on set?
Yeah. He said, leave me the alone, 50, just leave.
Though it didn't work.
No, I didn't chill, but he gonna do what he gonna do. He gonna smoke it anyway.
Do you think there's anyone who smokes more than Snoop?
Wiz Khalifa, maybe?
He's telling the truth.
In your song Into Club, you write, "You can find me in the club, bottle full of bub." Is the bottle actually full of bub?
When it first opened, yeah.
Is it not full of ginger ale?
You know, I filled champagne bottles with ginger ale.
So technically that song is also a lie. Are there any other tracks you lied in?
Yeah, there's points that you say things.
While rap fans are looking up to
Yo, and that's crazy, because in my opinion, that really shows you that most of these rappers, you look at 50 Cent just now, 2 Chainz, Future, they all are portraying an image. They're all educated men. I mean, not saying they don't have some kind of past, but they're not currently doing the things they rap about. Like, they're not even really drug addicts.
and adoring their favorite rappers, sometimes they seem to forget that the messages, as well as the entire image, is oftentimes just an illusion. Even though they say they're forever tough, some snitch on each other, some were cops, aka correctional officers, and some are just putting on an image, not doing what they say they do in their music. But since nobody will make a video on this topic, I want to come out here and publicly say that rap is all in.
SkinCeuticals, the #1 medical skincare brand, introduces new AGE Interrupter Advanced. 15 years of glycation science interrupt
is all an image. Here is Rick Ross. No, not this Rick Ross. This is Rick Ross. This guy was the original Rick Ross.
That's the nigga that they made Snowfall after. That Rick Ross, not this nigga, not that black Chris Griffin looking nigga, but the other Rick Ross is who Franklin from Snowfall is based off of.
Rick Ross the rapper had stolen his name from. It was the 90s, and crack was flooding the streets of the United States. A man known as Freeway Ricky was a crack dealer at the time, supplying all these crack junkies with their necessities. But a man named William, known now as Rick Ross, he wanted to be feared. He wanted people to see him as the boss in his music. So he would take the name of the drug dealer Freeway Rick and rap about the lifestyle of Freeway Rick, when in reality he himself was not doing everything he was rapping about.
Definitely, I got on the name like 10 years ago when it wasn't about that. It was about what I was gonna turn it into.
Since Rick Ross just admitted to his name being stolen from Freeway Rick, I think it's safe to say that Freeway Rick is the real Rick Ross. Listening to Rick Ross music, you'd hear all types of street stuff, drug lord stuff, and music that portrays and glorifies the street life and the gangster culture. You'd also be surprised to find out that back in the 90s, this same Rick Ross that makes these types of music, he himself was a cop. And when he was asked if he was a correctional officer, you would have thought he was a politician the way he dodged the questions.
Rick Ross done did it all to get money. I done did it all except set dudes up, put dudes behind bars, and that's what's important to me. And whenever I read a blog or if I came to radio stations, that of me being a CEO never been a pressure question for me. Because if I could go back to the hood and
Do that nigga Rick Ross look like, do he look like he built like a murderer? Can y'all see this nigga Rick Ross catching a body and then, like fleeing the scene on foot? Like, I don't know. Rick Ross look like the type of nigga that carry an inhaler.
and sell 50 of them things, I could go sell 50 CDs. So that ain't no pressure at all. So I just wanted to put it in perspective, respect my homies that's involved, you understand? And when certain things come up, Ross don't address that. And that's what I'm gonna respect, you know what I mean?
Even though he died.
I ain't gonna lie, that nigga Ross, he was dodging them questions like that nigga Neo from the Matrix was dodging them bullets in slow motion. He dodged them questions like Ultra Instinct Goku.
Dodge those questions like they were punches. Ross was employed as a prison guard in Florida from December 1995 until the summer of June 1997. Now,
2
some of you may
years?
think I'm trying to bash Rick Ross, right? That's not the case here. We all know Rick Ross is a very smart man. He owns multiple franchises of the famous Wingstop. He owns a champagne line called Bel Air, and he has made a fortune in the rap industry. This just goes to show you that not everything really is as it seems in the rap industry. Just like the story of Future, a person who I like to call a chemist who mixes chemicals. Future is known for mixing all types of drugs, but as time goes on, you'd realize that Future doesn't even do as much drugs as he portrays in his music.
I had a conversation with Future one time in the studio, and he said something that I will never forget. And he laughed while he said it. He was like, yeah, you know, people be thinking I do so many, like people be thinking I'm really doing a lot of drugs because I rap about it all the time.
Yo, I mean, and I mean, when I first heard that, I wasn't that surprised. I mean, but I knew motherfuckers, like I was talking to a girl, I ain't gonna say her name, obviously, but I was talking to this old thing, and she talking about, like, did you know Future don't really do drugs? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like, listen to Future's music. I mean, that nigga do sound like he like in the studio overdosing sometimes, or maybe crying. I don't know, but overall, I mean, like, you really can't be that surprised. Like, if this nigga was that much of a drug addict, how could this nigga like successfully complete tours, do all kind of features, travel all over the goddamn world? So, I mean, like, you really do got to take that into accountability. Like, Future has like established himself in the rap game and like created his own lane while doing it, a lane that like 10,000 other niggas done copied. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not saying like a drug addict can't, achieve those same plateaus, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, in order to reach heights like that, I don't feel like if you're consistently just destroying your body with all kind of drugs, I mean, like, I don't know. I think you kind of lose focus of the music afterward. You lose sight of that shit.
But they don't even be knowing I'm a lightweight. I said, in my head. Because there are a lot of people that are huge Future fans, for instance. And that's how they're gonna feel closer to him, because they're doing what they're hearing him rap about.
That's facts. And that's the same for all that hood music, like these little niggas out here, like they pretty much all like they're so they keep hearing about all this murder and all this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and my homies just caught a body, taking pictures on Snapchat and shit. That's a real story, actually. Like, dead ass. Like, 2 little niggas I worked with, and they're both minors, too. You know what I'm saying? These niggas both in trouble for fucking gun charges and whatnot. Luckily, they ain't killed nobody yet. But, low-key, these niggas, one of them specifically, like, he was just showing me his Snapchat, and I was like, Jesus Christ, like, if the cops seen this, you would be doing, like, 60 to life. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's sliding through his little Snapchat stories. There's one fucking picture he had, he pointing 2 big guns at the camera. I was like, whoa, like, Jesus Christ. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, I had to catch my fucking breath. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's sliding through so many fucking pictures with guns pointed at the camera. I started to feel like my life might actually be in danger.
Not knowing that
he ain't on it like that.
Not like that, no.
In drinking terms, Future, the rapper who raps about drugs all the time, is actually a lightweight, someone who becomes drunk or very high easily. But how could this be, right? Listening to Future's music would make you feel like you were in the clouds without a care in the world. Like a space cadet on Cloud 9 with no parachute. The sad case here being many kids
got a technical background, looking to go remote and get paid more.
Maybe.
Become a software engineer in 10 months with Practicum.
10 months?
Learn to code real business projects, from simple web pages to complete applications.
No, thank you.
Many kids who have already emulated these things they've heard through music and are acting out on those messages. For example, the kid who listened to Lil Wayne and became influenced by Lil Wayne's music, leading to him destroying his entire life. That was the story of Timmy. As a young boy who grew up in the inner cities, Timmy looked up to rappers like Lil Wayne as if they were gods. Their music spoke to him in a way that nothing else did, providing a voice for his frustration and a window into a world that showed a life that he had never seen before. At first, Timmy just listened to the music. He loved the way Lil Wayne rhymed and flowed. But as he got older, he started to take the messages in the music more seriously. When Lil Wayne rapped about drugs and violence, Timmy took it as a sign that those were the paths to success, and he wanted to be like his god, Lil Wayne. So he started experimenting with drugs, at first just smoking weed with his friends, but soon moving on to the harder stuff. He started hanging out with the wrong crowds, getting into fights, and stealing to pay for his habits. As days went by and years passed, Timmy's life spiraled out of control. He started to realize that he had made some terrible mistakes. He had dropped out of school, he had lost all his friends, and he was now facing time in jail for the possession of drugs. And all for what, right? To follow in the footstep of a rapper that didn't know he existed? And not just Timmy, right? Juice WRLD himself had listened to Future's music at a very young age and had been following the messages of those songs.
Yo, I mean, this nigga fucking Dundee is speaking nothing but facts. Because, like, on the real, like, you know, like, growing up, and I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I was somewhat able to, like, you know, like, rationalize and still separate, like, some things. But, you know, there were some things, like all my friends were doing, and, like, I wasn't doing it. And then I'm hearing about it in music, and I'm like, holy shit, like, I'm missing out. Like, you know, some of these rappers don't really realize the influence they have. I mean, you know, like, well, Wiz Khalifa. Like, I kept hearing about this nigga smoking weed. All the other rappers are smoking weed, but he's like the face for that shit. You know, everybody bumping Wiz. You know, everybody Taylor Gang, and you know all this shit. And you know, like wearing camo shorts. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Snapbacks. But you know, with all that, I don't want to call it peer pressure. It somewhat was, but you know, like with all that, I guess peer pressure and influence, you know, and like me, like questioning, like I mean, like you know, I know how I was taught to believe about marijuana. You know, I was taught like it's not a good thing, but you know, like with all that influence, you know what I'm saying? I guess I don't want to say a lack of parenting, but you know, I grew up in a single parent household, and it was my mom, so you know, all that being taken into, you know, like sometimes it's like you do want to bond with music, especially when you in like that younger teenage age range, you know, and you know you start feeling close to these rappers, and you be like, well, you know, I'm gonna do this so I can maybe like understand his music or feel his music or relate to his music. You know what I'm saying? It's all kind of different reasons you start going into it. So that's why I mean these motherfuckers, I understand wanting to turn up and you know like throw a party, but you know, you gotta fucking have some kind of actual message to your shit. You know, you really gotta realize, like, yo, like, I don't even mean to sound extra, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you low key changing lives with your music. I'm just saying. I mean, you know, I see that nigga fucking that nigga Vin Diesel. You know what I'm saying? Like that nigga being too fast, too furious. He just be clipping niggas. What's that nigga Al Pacino? That nigga is Scarface. You know what I'm saying? He shot a nigga in the middle of the street. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that Scarface, Al Pacino didn't really shoot a nigga in the middle of the street. You can't be a famous criminal. So these motherfuckers just gotta realize the influence that they really do got. And then, you know, fans really need to separate, like, yeah, I love Future's music. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? This nigga Future, he might not make it to the end of the beat. But you know that's just Future. You know what's his name? His real name is like Navegas or some weird shit like that. But that nigga, he is not the nigga fucking overdosing in the studio. That's just Future. You know what I'm saying? Future is like you know he's like a fucking movie character. But the Navehi nigga, that's the real nigga. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be able to separate the image from the person still.
Because of this, he ran into Percocet pills, trying oxycodone just at the age of 13, which would later be the same drug that would take his life just 10 years later. The story of Juice WRLD and Future.
For example, my freshman year, I ran into some Percocets my freshman year, 14, 15 years old, 13, 14, whatever the fuck the age is. I ran into some Percocets my freshman year. Niggas was calling me and my homie Clucks, right? 2 years later, 3 years later, Future dropped 56 Nights. By the way, Future is the GOAT. Future dropped 56 Nights. Niggas is hitting my phone like, will you get all them perks from them Zans, bro? Like, cause of some music. And like I said, I don't know if I said this earlier in here or in some having a convo with somebody else, but hearing that music at such a young age, nigga, I was trying to sip lean in 6th grade.
When Future found out he had done this type of damage, he replied, "Oh shoot, how many other 6th graders did I influence to drink lean?"
One of the first things that Juice WRLD told Future when they met up to make their 28.
And even to this day, that nigga Future still talk about being lean. Actually, I really don't listen to new Future music like that, but you know, like I remember I have heard him talking about Percocets and all that shit still. So he's still fucking talking about dabbling in the drugs.
Record World on was that Future had influenced him to try lean. Juice WRLD told Vulture.com, "That's the first thing I told him." He was just like, wow. He kind of apologized. Future later reacted to this situation in an interview with Rolling Stone magazine, saying, quote, "When he told me that, I was like, oh what have I done? It really bothered me. It bothered me a lot. More than I thought it would bother me when he told me that. How many other 6th graders did I influence to drink lean? This really messed me up for a minute. It's all I could think about. Like, damn, what have I done? What have I done to other people?"
From the perspective of the rapper, I could understand why he would put a certain image in his music. If Future...
Winter taking a toll on your hair? Meet
No.
Redken's All Soft System, now with new Moisture Restore treatment.
Future, for example, were to begin rapping about God, his kingdom, and how good God was, nobody would listen to it. Today, in our society, what's cool to us is drugs, sex, and even murder. And those are the things that sells. Even in music, movies, TV shows. Fact, someone on Reddit made a great point stating that image is around 50% of the reason someone listens to an artist. Like, imagine A$AP Rocky look like this. I guarantee you would never listen to him rap about being that PMF again. That point was valid. PMF in this case meaning pretty much created by A$AP Rocky, meaning...
Man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's cool. You know, I fucks with A$AP music, but you know, me personally, like I never want to be called pretty. Handsome's alright, but you know what I'm saying? Or if a girl won't call me sexy, you know what I'm saying? Those are acceptable compliments. But yeah, nigga, I don't ever want nobody else to be like, hey, you real pretty, nigga. Like, yeah, not really my alley.
Meaning a male who doesn't care about what other people thinks, and he's very high in fashion. A braggadocious term indeed. That image is
not really my lane.
What the fans buy is what Timmy bought at his age, leading to him getting locked up. It's
what the fuck is that nigga Timmy doing coke in an alley? On a dirty cardboard box? What?
What Juice WRLD bought that got him drinking leans and popping Percocet pills at the age of 13.
Nobody give a fuck about what y'all niggas did 3 years ago. I don't think y'all niggas understand what I was talking about in my last video. What y'all did 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and living y'all raps, y'all don't do. I know that personally. What y'all gonna give me 48 hours? Yo, wait 2 months. Yo, this thing gonna die? Where? Where I'ma die? Fuck Chief Keef. Fuck Lil Reese. Fuck all them niggas. Fuck y'all niggas talking about, nigga. This fucking Treyway, nigga. I bet y'all niggas pull up to New Jersey now, nigga. Jersey ain't even my city, but my brothers is there. You heard me? You know what I'm saying? New York shit, man. This fucking Treyway, man.
This is Mr. Hernandez. While coming up in rap, he wanted to be feared. He wanted to be respected like all the other rappers. So he'd flex loads of money, flex his jewelry, go into his enemy's neighborhood, and even diss the dead. He boasted about his gangster lifestyle and how hard he was. But when he was arrested and got a real taste of being a gangster, now knowing what jail felt like, he'd soon turn back like a whale on everything he had ever said. As he sat in that cold, regretful, and ruthless prison cell, and he knew that gangster life wasn't for him.
Yo, that's the other thing, you know what I'm saying? For these niggas who, you know, they hear a few like Y&W Melly songs and they ready to go kill their best friends, you know, like y'all gotta realize, like, you know, getting in trouble is real easy, but it's real hard to get out. And I'll also tell you, man, like, you know, when you in there, bro, like, you really realize, like, you know, the niggas you was rocking with, like, they not all there, bro. Like, I'm telling you, I done been to county, and thank God I've only been to county and to a halfway house. But I will let you know now, like, out of all my friends, one's my cousin, so we're not even gonna count him. But two of my friends that are not blood related, I call them family, but we're not blood related. But those were the only two who knew what was going on with me, who gave a fuck about what was going on with me. Out of like all my like 30, 40 friends, Like none of them niggas, man, half of them ain't even know I was in jail at the point in time, bro. Like, you know, and when you in there, bro, like, you know, like, man, you better hope you got caught with some fucking money or you got somebody putting money on your books, because otherwise you eating bullshit. It's mental torture. And there's a lot of politics in jail, you know, like for these niggas who, you know, they be out there committing all kind of crime, getting into shootouts, you know, sending niggas to Jesus. These niggas really, like, they are very anal retent, like, you know, like, oh yeah, no drinking water out the drinking fountain. Nigga, you better have a goddamn water bottle. I'm just saying, it's fucking insane. The fucking rules.
And that he never wanted to spend the rest of his life in that prison cell. So, what do
the inmates got more rules than the goddamn COs.
He do? 6ix9ine snitched. He snitched on his fellow gang members and gave the police everything they needed to take them all down. His sentence
pointing fingers like a goddamn referee
was reduced, with all his gang members receiving eternity in prison. When this happened, you know, I couldn't help but wonder what happened to all that image, all that, you know, things he said on the internet. What happened to all of those? Was it all fake from the beginning? Was everything 6ix9ine ever said, did he mean it? Here is another case of when someone talked the walk, but when it came time to walk the walk, they couldn't walk that walk. The whole point of this is kids and people as a whole, you know, are being influenced by these people's music, not taking in the fact that it may just be for entertainment and just, you know, some people are just doing it to make money because it's what sells. And Tunde, what about the 1% of rappers that's actually living that life? Yeah, granted, there's actually some rappers who are actually living this life that they say.
And they either, unfortunately, go to heaven or go to jail, you know? I mean, it's normally the latter, you know? Like, normally a lot of the fucking gangster rappers, the niggas who fucking throwing up all kind of sign language in their music videos, yeah, them niggas, they normally go to the clouds. But they all, you know, y'all just gotta realize, like, you know, like, all the real famous niggas, like Lil Durk and, like, fucking, like, you know, even Young Boy. Well, Young Boy's on house arrest, but still, Young Boy, like, the shit he rap about doing, he not really doing. Like I said, like, that nigga can't leave, like I think, like, a 2-mile perimeter. So, like, yeah, he not doing it. Durk ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Quando Rondo, that nigga hiding. I mean, Kodak is like one of the one rappers who probably really still is doing shit. But I mean, I don't know how the hell that nigga keep getting out. He got a presidential pardon. I was like, Yak know the president?
That they say they do. But still, you know, I don't think we should be glorifying murderers. It's just, it's sick, in my opinion, killing.
And look, I'm my bad to keep interjecting, but look at TK, look at Melly, look at K-Flop. Look where the fucking murderers get you. The drug dealers, like Casanova and all them niggas, and fucking Fetty Wap. You know what I'm saying? Like, these niggas, this ain't like an episode of The Sopranos. This ain't an episode of goddamn Power, nigga. BMF. These niggas is really doing time. And you don't get that time back. And your mom can't get you out. Your best friend or your dad, your grandparents, your cousin, can't nobody get you out.
Killing people, the fetish to kill, it's just a sick thing to be doing, right? You know, it's the highest crime in the world. Like, if you murder somebody today, guarantee that you would at least be getting life in prison. So, I mean, 6ix9ine, before he received, you know, any types of fame or recognition, this was who he is. Look at his skin with no tats, just a regular kid, you know. So he came to the camera and now saying, oh yeah, I'm this, that. This is the power of marketing. It's all entertainment. Never take this into account. Listen to it, take it for entertainment. And personally,
you will throw your life away trying to be like some of the rappers.
I do listen to rap music, right? And I enjoy it, you know, and I feel like entertainment is what everyone should see rap music as. It shouldn't be nothing that you should be acting on, right? I resonate with a lot of black artists, and I don't know what I would be listening to if it wasn't for rap, right? The catchy melodies, the 808s, the beats, the hooks. Oh my goodness, I love rap.
God damn, that nigga, this nigga just turned into like the fucking, like, the rap scientist. You know what I mean? He got one of them big lab coats, and you know what I'm saying, and a couple goddamn testing tubes, and you know what I'm saying. Like, this nigga just broke down rap into a fucking chemistry component. He said, "I love it."
Love rap, right? Rap is the foundation of music. Everybody listens to rap. As much as I listen, though, I
like I said, bro, this nigga fucking, according to him, rap is on the periodic table.
No, to never attempt, what I'm hearing in my ears through these music. Because sometimes, you hear some crazy stuff and you ask yourself, did he really do all of that stuff? Goddamn. But there are unfortunate people out here who will, they're not like me. They take these messages in and they act on it. And these people is kind of who this video is for. People that think, rap is really what it is. No, it's not. It's really not. In conclusion, when you hear someone on the internet and they say they're doing something, their real life may be well contrary to that thing they say that they're doing. Not all that glitters is gold, right? And there's some very beautiful flowers too with some, they're deadly, but they look good. Good looking flowers with deadly poisons. It's crazy. Never been influenced by what you see or hear. As we can.
Alright, shout out my nigga Thunder. And if you enjoyed the vid, like, sub. I will catch you in the next one. Peace. Yeah, buddy.